Hello, students. Welcome back to your geography class. Today, we're going to do a quick revision of the chapter Natural Vegetation and Wildlife. In this chapter, we understood the presence of wildlife and biodiversity together, and we learned about the balance in the ecosystem. We also understood the importance to maintain the trophic level of the food pyramid and also the role of the environment. There are various factors that affect the diversity of flora and fauna, namely the relief, the climate. In relief, we learned about the land and soil. Land affects the natural vegetation directly and indirectly. It influences the type of flora and fauna. Fertile land is used for agriculture, and the untouched areas by human, which develops the natural vegetation, becomes the habitat of many animals, birds, and insects. The soil, different types of soil and different types of vegetation depends on the soil. Near the deltas, we find the mangrove trees, and on the hills, there are the conical trees. In the sandy desert, we find cactus and thorny bushes. So all these vegetation differ according to the soil. Then we also learned what is natural vegetation, which is a plant community which is grown naturally without any human aid. So it is basically a plant community which has grown without any human aid, and it has been left undisturbed by humans for a very long time. It is also called virgin vegetation. And the virgin vegetation, which is Indian in pure terms, is endemic or indigenous, while the virgin vegetation, which is from outside India, is known as exotic plants. Now, coming to the second factor that affects the diversity of flora and fauna, and that is climate. In climate, we spoke about temperature, photoperiod or sunlight, and precipitation. Temperature. Vegetation is developed because of various factors like temperature, humidity in the air, precipitation, etc. If we spoke about how the vegetation cover of Himalayas is different from the evergreen vegetation cover of the Western Ghats. In India, we do have tropical and subtropical temperature. We also have alpine vegetation. Photoperiod sunlight. Due to the large duration of sunlight, trees they grow further, and because there's a larger process of photosynthesis that takes place. The variation in this duration of sunlight also affects the vegetation cover in that area. And precipitation, that is rainfall, we all know that areas of heavy rainfall have more dense vegetation than the areas that have scanty rainfall. Then we learned about the ecosystem. Plants and animals in an area which are interdependent and interrelated. And the term biome, which is a very large ecosystem having distinct types of vegetation and animal life. We also learned about the importance of forests. We know various reasons why forest is important to us, because it enhances the quality of environment, it can modify the local climate, they even control the soil erosion and regulate stream flows. There are so many industries that depend on the forest. Forest also provides livelihood to so many Indian communities. They control the wind force and temperature, and they cause rainfall due to the transpiration process. It provides humus to the soil, and it is a habitat for many wild animals, birds, and insects. But India's vegetation, natural vegetation, has been reducing day by day, and we spoke about the reasons of the same. Number one was the increase in population, which leads to increase in the demand for food. And so ultimately, we have to increase the land of cultivation. Then India is also developing our industries. And because of this, the mining process has led to the depletion of the forest. Third was urbanization, which leads to the extension of the urban areas. And again, we need to cut down the forest cover. And lastly is overgrazing and pastures, which is also responsible for clearing grasslands. Now, then we spoke about the types of vegetation or the types of forests that we find in India. Tropical rainforest or evergreen forests, tropical deciduous forest or tropical monsoon forest, tropical thorn forests and scrubs, montane forest, and the mangrove or tidal forest. The tropical evergreen forest, there is no definite time for the trees to shed their leaves over here. The common trees found here are ebony, mahogany, and the common animals found here are the lemur and the deer, etc. Topping of the tropical deciduous forest, the trees shed their leaves for 6 to 8 weeks in dry summer. Common trees are cell and people, and common animals are lizard, snakes, etc. Trees, now we're talking about the thorn forest and the scrubs. Over here, the trees are scattered and they have long roots. Common plants found here are the palms and the cacti. Common animals are fox, wolf, etc. Next, we spoke about the montane forest. These are wet, temperate forests. Then we also find temperate forest in these regions, which slowly grows into an alpine vegetation, and then we find the tundra vegetation. Then we spoke about the mangrove forests. These, these forests, they are dense with roots of the plants which are submerged in the water. The common trees found here are the kiura, agar, etc. And the common animals are turtle, snakes, etc. Besides this, we also have medicinal plants, and we spoke about various medicinal plants like sarpagandha, jamun, arjun, babul, neem, etc. We spoke about what these plants are useful for and how India has around 325 medical plants. And out of these, 52 are threatened and 49 are endangered. Now, speaking of the wildlife, we spoke how India is large in its fauna and we have 90,000 animal species. We have 2,000 species of bird, and in all we constitute world's 13% in total. We have 2,546 species of fish, and that is around 12% of the world's stock. And we also share like 5 to 8% of the world's amphibians, reptiles, and mammals. So we have a large number of animals, birds, and fish species. We spoke about all the animals found in our country and where they are found. Then we spoke about how to conserve the natural vegetation and wildlife. Our crops are selected from a biodiverse environment. We also have so many medicinal plants found here. Animals belong to the category of mulch. The animals also provide drought power, meat, eggs, transportation. The fish give us nutritive food. Insects help in pollination. So each and every species has a very important role in the ecosystem. So it's very important to conserve it, to protect it. Which are the reasons because of which these ecosystem or things in the parts of ecosystem are under threat? Because of the greedy hunters who hunt these animals for profit, the pollution due to chemical and industrial waste that gives acid deposits, this reckless cutting of trees for habitation purposes, etc. All this is causing an imbalance to our ecosystem. And so the government had to step in and take some steps to protect the flora and fauna. We have 14 biosphere reserves that have been set up. We have provided financial and technical assistance to many botanical gardens. And many animal protection projects have also started. For example, we have Project Tiger, Project Rhino, etc. In all, India has 103 national parks, 535 wildlife sanctuaries, and zoological gardens. So, we are taking steps to take care of our natural heritage. So, with this, children, we have summed up the chapter today. Best of luck for your upcoming examination. I am sure you're all going to do great. Stay home, stay safe, take care, keep learning. Thank you.